Job hunting can really be draining. I know how draining job hunting can be because I've been there. I've seen people there. I at some point I was there, yeah. I'm actually a recruiter Cynthia. So in this video today, I'm here to talk about the things you ought not to say in a job interview. The things you're not to say in a job interview, because sometimes it's not about the things you didn't say. It's not about the things you didn't mention, because I've had people say, oh, during the interview, I forgot to mention this, I forgot to tell them this. Sometimes you didn't lose the job because of the things you didn't say. Sometimes you lost it because of the things you actually said. So I want to break it down here and let you know about things you're not supposed to say during an interview, because I myself, I have been in a situation where from the first stage of interview, from the beginning part of the interview, I told myself, no, this candidate is not flying. So these are the things you're going to say, or things you will say during an interview, that can cost you the job entirely. So welcome to my page. My name is Cynthia. I'm recruiter Cynthia, a real life recruiter. So in this page, we talk about everything related to job, everything that has to do with you landing this job, because I really want you to get that job. I really want you to get job. I don't want you to stay job hunting for a year plus. No, that's not what I want for you. So that's why I have this channel, so I can tell you the things you do or the things you didn't do, or the reasons you're not getting those jobs, so that after watching my videos you could do some amendments, some changes, and we could land that job. So for today, the things we ought not to say during an interview, things you ought not to say during an interview. You're not supposed to say, no, I did not research the company. Imagine asking you, okay, what do you know about us? Have you made research? Have you checked us? And you're like, no, I did not check. I've not made my research. One thing I know for sure is that once an interview invite has been sent to your email address, you've been sent scheduled for interview, there's always an attached name of the company. It could be written, it could be their logo, it could even be from the email address. The name of the company, it's there. So I think one thing you're supposed to do immediately you see that mail is to sit down, take your phone or your laptop or whatever device you use for research. Do a research on the company, because if you're going to be applying for the company, or if you already applied for the company, because before by then I actually must have applied for you to be called for an interview, you must have applied already. So if you've applied already, probably you forgot the name of the company due to numerous applications. So what you're supposed to do at this point is to research this particular company, because you have their name already. So imagine a situation where I was in an interview with both clients and the candidate itself. So when the candidate came in, it was a social media manager role. So the client asked, have you checked any of our pages? Have you checked us? What do you think? What do you think you can do to improve our page? The person just said, no, I've not checked the company. I did not make the research on them, so I don't know what you do. But I would say that generally, that was how he did it. I would say that generally, in this, we are ought to do this. That's not a good start. It's not. You didn't make research. So you're talking based on general perspective. So you can't narrow it down to the company because you've not really made your research on the company, all right? Which is not supposed to be so. You're at no point are you supposed to say, I have not made my research on the company. It's not something that you're supposed to do. Before entering into any interview, you are supposed to make your research on the company, all right? So don't go about entering an interview without proper research on what this company does, so that you'll be able to figure out how you can come in and how you can be of service to them, and even know if it actually aligns with you. Because I keep saying this in my page, always find out if this role you're applying for actually aligns with you. So this is one of the ways to even know if this aligns with what you're looking for. What they do, does it align? So if it does not align, why going through the whole stress? You can just skip and go look for something you perfectly align with. Because I think something that we miss out is that any job you get, most times, some people spend their whole lifetime in a particular job. So if you're going to be doing something you don't like or something you're not interested in for a lifetime, it doesn't really work. It makes you, get tired quickly. It makes you, you just it makes you want to leave work at every point in time. It makes you tired of the whole process. So that's why you always have to check for what aligns with you, because you never can tell how long you're going to spend on this job. All right. So the second thing I want to talk about is you talking about salary at the beginning of the interview. You're not supposed to talk about salary at the beginning. You can come in once you know that the interview is done, or maybe they pop up the question. Do you have any question for us? At that part, you can talk about the interview. Don't just, during the whole process of trying to get to know you, trying to get to know your experience, you cut it short by bringing salary. I have a lot of people that have done it during interview, like from the first call. Hello, am I on to this person? This is the role I'm calling you for, and this is where I'm calling you for. Okay, so what is the salary? That's the first question they ask. That funny enough, that's the first question. So if you're one of those people that do that, please stop it. Please stop it. It's not the best way to go about this whole thing. You want to know the salary, yes. You're so interested about knowing the salary to know if it aligns or if it works for you. You wait until the interview is about to be concluded, then you can bring it up. If there are commissions, you can talk about it at that point, so you know how the commission structure works and know if that actually aligns with what you're looking for. All right, so you don't go about bringing up salary at the beginning of that interview. All right. So the other thing I would want to talk about that you are not supposed to say during a job interview is to say you do not have any weakness. We all have a place we all fall short of. In as much as I'm a recruiter, I interview people and all that. I still feel like their skills have not acquired. I still feel like their things have not done. I still feel like I'm supposed to have upgraded in this part of myself that I have not upgraded. So that is my weakness. So when it comes to that part, oh, I don't. This is my weakness, but I'm working on trying to. You tell us the process, because you don't just talk about your weakness without talking about how you're trying to work on it. So you don't just talk about it and let it be like that, and allow us to assume that you're working on it. No. So you talk about, okay, I feel like in my weakness I'm supposed to be able to do some Microsoft packages like the Word. I feel like I've not been able to get hold of it, which I feel it's a weak point. It's my weakness right now, but I'm already working on acquiring it, because I registered for a skill where I want to there's always a weakness. So don't come with I do not have a weakness. This is not what you're supposed to be saying during an interview. You do not have a weakness. So there's always something. There's always, it could be a skill. You can talk about it like it's a skill or something. Something you know reasonable actually, because you don't talk about unreasonable things. Like, I do sleep during work hours is my weakness, and I'm trying not to say and I'm trying not to be sleeping during work hour. I don't know. I don't know if I was to be an interviewer, if I was to be the one interviewing you and you tell me that, I'm like, oh, are you sure this person is not going to be sleeping on the job? Oh, do you have another option? Let's just check other options, please. So you don't talk about it in a way, or bring it up in a way that does not, look professional. Yeah. So you bring it up you know, in a very demure way. You don't just talk about weakness that will harm the job. That's another thing you do not talk about. You don't talk about what we do not talk about is you do not have a weakness. That's the point. So all this just trying to you know lay the foundation, or stabilize it. Why am I using the wrong word right now? Okay, try to cement it. Okay, I think that's better. So try to cement it that you're not supposed to say you do not have a weakness. And another thing you are not supposed to say during a job interview is to say bad things about your previous employer. Saying a bad thing about your previous employer does not make you a good person, even if actually your employer before was a bad person. Things like sexual harassment is not a bad thing about your boss. If your boss actually sexually harass you, it's something you can say, okay, I quit the job because I was sexually harassed. It's a point, it's a good point actually. I'm not saying don't say that. But in a situation where you start, condemning your boss, oh, he was this or she was this, she does not want me to rest, she always give me a lot of jobs, and it does not tell well of you. Even though that happens, well, it's not a good way to put it to a potential employer. It's not a good way. It feels like, oh, this person is likely to do the same thing or say the same thing about us even when they are looking for a new job. So you do not say bad things about your previous employer. All right, you could say this: I'm actually applying for a new job because I want to personally develop myself. I want to acquire new experience. I feel like, okay, I'm not learning anything new, so I need new challenges. That could work. All right, don't go about, okay, I resign because my boss is very lazy. The part of the job he's supposed to do, he does not do it. It does not really tell well of you. At this point, it's not even about your boss anymore, it's about you as a person. So you do not condemn your previous employer just because you're applying for a new role. All right, so that is the point I really need to make. Things you're not supposed to be saying during an interview, because these things can actually affect the whole process. It can disqualify you from the beginning of the interview and not give you any chance for any other thing. All right, so we've come to the end of this video. And I could edit this video actually and remove some of the places I was, but no, we are all humans actually. At some point, we do have a situation where we make errors, and errors are something more relatable and something we all do. So I don't think it's something we really need to cut off. So if there is any mistake or you had me trying to correct myself, you know it's me being human. All right, that's me being human. And I feel like this page, in as much as it's going to be talking about recruitment and things that has to do with job seeking and all that, I still want to make it look natural. Not look, I still want to make it be natural. I still want us to, be at a level where we all are humans and we all can interact. All right. So the comment section is always open. You can always drop, whatever you want to drop. My email address is actually in the bio. You can go there. If there is something personal you need to talk to me about, you can email me. I always get my mails. All right. So do not forget to subscribe. I don't know why, but you did subscribe. Some people watched to this point and it was interesting to you, but yet you did not hit the subscription button. Why? Why? So do not forget to subscribe, like, so that we know that, okay, we are making impact and we're supposed to continue on this part. So it won't look like, oh, we are just wasting our time. Do you get? All right. So see you in the next video. Turn on the notification so you do not miss the next video. All right. All right. Catch ya. Recruiter Cynthia says, bye bye.